Once Upon a Bedtime Story presents
The Clever Apprentice by Walter Gregor. A shoemaker once engaged an apprentice. A short time after the apprenticeship began, the shoemaker asked the boy what he would call him when addressing him. "Oh, I would just call you master," answered the apprentice. "No," said the master, "you must call me master above all masters." Continued the shoemaker, "What would you call my trousers?" The apprentice, "Oh, I would call them trousers." Shoemaker, "No, you must call them ruffliners." "And what would you call my wife?" Apprentice, "Oh, I would call her mistress." Shoemaker, "No, you must call her the fair lady Hermondamum." "And what would you call my son?" The apprentice, "Oh, I would call him Johnny." The shoemaker, "No, you must call him John the Great." "And what would you call the cat?" The apprentice, "Oh, I would call him Pussy." The shoemaker, "No, you must call him the Great Carl Gropus." "And what would you call the fire?" The apprentice, "Oh, I would call it Fire." The shoemaker, "No, you must call it Fire Evangelist." "And what would you call the peat stack?" The apprentice, "Oh, I would just call it the peat stack." The shoemaker, "No, you must call it Mount Potago." "And what would you call the well?" The apprentice, "Oh, I would call it a well." The shoemaker, "No, you must call it the Fair Fountain. And last of all, what would you call the house?" The apprentice, "Oh, I would call it a house." The shoemaker, "No, you must call it the Castle of Mungo."
I hope you're enjoying this Once Upon a Bedtime Story production. If you enjoy this story, you should check out my audiobook that has 3 hours of classic bedtime stories like this one. After the podcast, go to onceuponabedtimestory.com/books and check out my audiobook called Hopping Fun Stories.
The shoemaker, after giving this lesson to the apprentice, told him that the first day he managed to use all of these words at once, and was able to do so without making a mistake, the apprenticeship would be at an end. The apprentice was not long in making an occasion for using these words. One morning he got out of bed before his master and lit the fire. He then tied some bits of paper to the tail of the cat and threw the animal into the fire. The cat ran out with papers all in a blaze, landing in the peat stack, which caught afire. The apprentice hurried to his master and cried out, "Master above all masters, start up and jump into your strufflers, and call Sir John the Great and the fair lady Hermondamum, for Carl Gropus has caught hold of Fire Evangelist and is out to Mount Potago, and if you don't get help from the fair fountain, the whole great Castle Mungo will be burned to the ground."
You just listened to a Once Upon a Bedtime Story production. These bedtime stories are some of my favorites, and if you have a bedtime story that you remember from your childhood, I'd love to hear about it. Please go to onceuponabedtimestory.com/remember and use the form to tell me about your favorite.